Hello everyone and welcome back to Pentiment. This is episode 7. Last time we spanned some yarn with the ladies and we got some, attempts in to get some more information about, what's going on in this lovely town of Tassing right now. However, upon, trying to go to bed, we were interrupted and told that the Archdeacon is here early and he wants to see us at Non's. We have to get our butts in gear because we're about to get questioned on everything that we know, and we have to choose which information we want to divulge to the Archdeacon as well. We need more evidence for some things. In particular, we're going to go and speak to Otto first and foremost because we want to see if we can get his help in potentially digging up a grave. Will it work? There is only one way to find out. Otto! Afternoon, Andreas. Heard that Baron friend of yours was killed up at the Abbey. My mentor, Brother Piero, has been blamed for the crime. One of the elder brothers, isn't he? Might have met him while I was replacing the scriptorium roof. Seemed an alright sort for a monk. Sorry to hear it. Anyway, did you need something? Otherwise I got things to do. Do you think you could help me dig up a grave at the Abbey? And I love how casually we're trying to ask this one as well. They're like, hey, can you help us dig up a grave? Oh, I think it clicked the second option. He treated Lucky terribly and Lucky is a good man. That I think is reason enough. I think that's about the Baron. But it's not my place to discuss Lucky's troubles with you. If you want to know more, ask him yourself. Well, he that didn't go down very well. I don't think he cares for me. Ha, sounds like Lucky. Anyway, do you think you could help me dig up a grave at the Abbey? You think there's something in there that'll prove the old brother's innocent, right? That's it. You're perceptive, Otto. And listen when people talk. You should try it. Did you talk to the abbot about this mischief? Wouldn't want to get my grubby hands all over his stuff without his permission. Actually, he expressly forbade it. I will be honest about that. This will be remembered. Ha! You still want me to do it? Sure, why not? It'll take a few hours though, especially if I'm digging alone. It'll take a few hours, especially if I'm digging alone. I guess this is committing to some time passing. Do we have anything else that we really desperately need to do this morning? I don't know, but I feel like this grave takes importance. It's of grave importance. Let's go. Fine, I'll grab my tools. And we just... So, town carpenter, what's that like? Exhausting. Not unlike this here. Satisfying, too, to make things with my hands, to feel the sun on my neck and sap under my fingers. I haven't fallen off a roof yet, so all in all, I can't complain. Being the only carpenter in Tassing must keep you busy. Busy's one word for it, overwork's another. It was easier my dad and I could do the work together, but since his stroke, it is what it is. Did he see a doctor? Perhaps something can be done. Dr. Stolz took a look at him. He said there was nothing to be done. Made it seem like we were wasting his time. It was a few years ago, and my dad doesn't trust a doctor as far as he can throw him, but thanks. Anyway, the work gets me talking to everyone in town, so I hear all about what's troubling people. That's why he's a good listener. Many people in Tassing are struggling, Andreas. The peasants, especially. I heard as much from Clara. They used to be able to pay a portion of their taxes in crops, but the abbot put an end to that. Now if they get a bad price from Miller, they don't have enough to pay the Abbey. That's exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. The abbot might own the land, but he doesn't work it. He just reaps the benefits of others' efforts. But it's not just him. The law, imperial law, that's what gives him the power. So maybe the laws have to change. I had no idea it was so bad. My family are all artists. You're from Nuremberg, right? Well away from the peasants' problems. I'd be surprised if you did know. Good thing you came to Tassing. You can get a real education in how the world works. Anyway, I should get back to digging. It's going to take a while. This is all on my own. Why aren't I helping, huh? I'm just sitting there. Oh, well, I'll just stand here, I guess. Oh, okay. So we're having a conversation. He's going to do it, and it'll take him a few hours, so we'll have to come back here later. Got a ways to go yet? Why don't you take a look around? So I guess we'll wait for... the next time period transition, and we'll check in here before we go to the Archdeacon. I pointed this out a while ago when we last came here, that I was like, oh, this grave stands out. Now we can actually have a look at it. Oh, Father Matthias is here. Oh, and Otto actually chimes in when he's here, with a wooden headstone too. Things must be worse for the Abbey than I thought. The Abbey must be having money troubles. That would explain why the abbot's wringing the peasants dry. The rest of the abbots are in the crypt or under the church. I took a look at them while inspecting the foundations with Endress. Kirsau's built on top of an old Roman fort, not cheap to maintain by any means. Still, I'm surprised the Abbey doesn't have enough money to pay for a new tomb. I heard the abbot and the prior arguing back when I repaired the scriptorium roof. Whatever problems Kirsau's having, they've been going on a while. Giving a previous abbot a wooden headstone is very interesting. It's true. And then they have a goddamn crazy-ass skeleton woman one, which is like, okay, so extravagant. Sister Maria, the librarian, probably before your time. I was a boy when she passed. My father spoke well of her, though. Said she reminded him of his own grandmother, a sweet woman who loved the Lord. I expect the abbot will have her dug up soon. Ah, for the crypt. A ghoulish tradition, I've always thought. What's dead should remain buried, he says while digging up a grave. But then, they don't have much space here, and many of the monks aren't long for death themselves, so it looks like these things can only be actually investigated while Otto is here, interestingly enough, which is bonus information. Let's hope nobody walks in on us while we're digging up a grave. Mother Brunhilde. Abbotissa? I doubt anyone's in that one. Given the age, I guess she's long been moved to the Abbey crypt by now. You worried Father Gernot might try to punish us for this? God willing, we'll be done before he finds out about it. So, you want me to speed it up? Sure. What do you care about my back? Christ. Oh, shit. We're good. We're good. He's gonna keep the secret because he has to. This is all because we made a secret deal in the library. We're like, you will not tell anyone else about the grave robbing, or I will not tell you about your grave robbing, if you know what I mean. Short, angry monk coming this way. Shit. Matthew's not gonna like this. I could hide, but then I'd be putting Otto in a tough spot. Let's distract him. He's not going to be happy with me if he has to deal with Matthew on his own. This could be the clue that unlocks the truth about who killed Lorenz. It's a little trouble if it saves an innocent man's life. I'll run out the way and I'll go, Matthew, quick, fire in the scriptorium. Hell, we're destined for an earful. This will be remembered. I will stay with him. I will not hide. Is all well here? Why would it not be? Why, have you coerced the carpenter into digging up the late brother Gerhard? Someone has disturbed this grave, and I suspect it's connected with the Baron's murder. That is curious, if you're telling the truth. Even so, Brother Gerhard's grave is not your concern. You are not a member of this community, Andreas. I don't want to do that. I'm forced into lying. I only have one choice. That's bullshit. I didn't want to lie. A game has forced me into a lie. The abbot gave his permission. The rest is not your business, Matthew. Lie. The Circator. It's my duty, as the Circator, it's my duty to prevent for mischief such as this. I'm terribly convincing. It's the hat. Gives me an air of authority. There's literally no persuasion that can be done here. There's no pluses or negatives. It's just a failure. You are mistaken. Master Zimmerman, please clean up this mess. I'm going to speak with the abbot about this immediately. Not if I tell the abbot about the butt sex. Oh, God. Well, that sucks. That went well. Is that going to cause problems for you? I didn't like how that went. I don't like that the game forced us into a lie. Especially with the previous interactions we've had with Matthew, there might have been some secret brotherhood camaraderie there, of keeping secrets. Proving Piero's innocence is what matters. I'm not worried about anything else. This will be remembered. You got convictions after all, huh? Well, the sun won't wait, so I better get back to digging. Not good. Brother Jacob from Cologne. Did you ever meet him? You spoke a couple times. He was a funny man, just about the only one of these monks with a sense of humour. A funny monk? I'm sad to have missed him. He had a gift for manipulating his features and his voice to imitate the other monks. A man like that is wasted at an abbey. Okay. Well, I've reached the body, but... What? Something wrong with it? It's not there. Oh, okay. Never mind. Looks fine enough, decay notwithstanding, but someone stuffed a sack up under his ribs. Good God. Let me see. It has been tampered with. Ooh, shit. What a strange collection of objects. These would be 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, okay. What is this? Some of them are zodiac signs. Strange how. 2 are plated with precious metals and engraved, a silver chased rod and a golden plate. The rod has symbols of the zodiac on it. The plate has some script I don't recognize. There's also blood on it. Could this be the murder weapon? It's like bonked on the head with it, maybe. And then pushed up against the wall with the blood splatter. I don't know. Ah! And a knife! Seems ordinary enough, but together with the other 2, buried here... Why would someone bury them here together and shove them in a skeleton's ribs? Because they're forbidden. Wait, there's blood in some of the symbols on this rod. Dried to be certain, but not that old. Ferenc tried cleaning this, but wasn't able to remove all of the blood. Could this be what was used to kill Lorenz? Who buried this here, anyway? I suppose that's part of the mystery. I can't say, but it may be connected to the Baron's murder. What? None of this makes any sense. What's going on here, Andreas? That's what I need you to figure out, Otto. Thank you for your help. Damn. We at sexting time. 2 hours remain. But... magical tools. In Brother Gerhard's grave, I found a number of magical tools. It appears Prior Ferenc hid them here out of fear that they might be discovered. The note he wrote must have been a message for a fellow magician to dig them up at a later date. I discovered a silver rod with occult symbols on it and traces of dried blood in the engravings. I believe it may belong to Prior Ferenc. We should find someone to eat with. We didn't get to look at the talk about this grave with Otto. I don't know if we could anyway. Okay. Sabant? Andreas, I am sorry about what is happening to Brother Piero. I do not know him well, but I find it hard to believe he could have killed the Baron. He didn't. I'm going to figure out who did. I will pray for your success. I know it might be far from your mind, but have you considered my offer to eat with you and the townspeople? The gospel says that man cannot live on bread alone, but from time to time a little bread is required. Oh. I'll talk to Gret and see who she wants to come along. Where should we meet you? Oh, this might be interesting. Because this would be in regards to dinner. Let's pursue this. Of course, I'll talk to Gret and see if she wants to come along. Where should we meet you? At the shrine to St. Moritz. I'll see you there. Until then. Oh, okay. Let's do this. We've gathered some people. I guess this is eating time. I chose who to eat with very quickly because it looks like this might be pretty decent. We've got a party here. Oh my, Andreas. Yes? Are these all of the mothers from Tassing and their children? Well, no, I don't think it's all of them. Helena Pfeiffer couldn't make it. It's a long walk up here in her condition. And Hetty said Hans was too big for stories. Stories? I may have said something about your books. I like stories. Yes, maybe a little too much. Ha, all right, I can tell a story. But first, let us pray together and eat. O Lord, thank you for bringing us together as you brought Jesus to his disciples on the road to Emmaus. Emmaus? It's French, I believe. Is it French? Does that sound French to you? I don't think it's French. There's so many words that I don't understand how to read. With the breaking of bread between us, let us recognize each other as Christians and rejoice in our salvation through you. Amen. 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 And it's food time. It's bread eating time. And I thank you and your husband for this bread, Gret. It's bread. My old Rick always says that bread brings people together. I can't believe I don't have a pretzel on my plate. I'm upset. I missed this when I was in Florence. They don't have bread in Florence? Wow, the baby says, delightfully. Where's Florence? South, over the mountains. Last week, the blonde lady at our house with the pretty clothes. She was from Florence. Oh. Father Gernot eats a white bread, does he not? Yes, the finest wheat is used for the abbot's bread. Why? The abbot is a very important man, Paul. We have a bread in my home that we call injera. Surprised that's not a it's not a glossary item, but it is. But we do get an animal in a little poncho with a hood and a cane and an elongated doggo. So that's nice. We make it thin, round, and wide, and put our food on top of it. We eat it with almost every meal. As you love the bread of your home, so I miss mine. I will have the pretzel, please. Oh, no, it's not mine? Okay. Almonds it is. Oh, what's the recipe? Maybe we could make it. Thank you, but no. We use a fine grain that does not grow here called teff. Surely someday you'll go home and can have your fill of it. God willing, yes, but then perhaps a day will come when I miss the rye of Tassing. It is the great danger that comes with the blessing of travel, living a life between worlds. I guess I'll be the last to eat my bread. I don't want to talk about bread anymore. It's so boring. Bread. Pff. Don't be rude, Bert. I did say I would tell a story. Children, have you ever seen a Bible? Father Tom? Yeah, Father Thomas has one. It's huge. My dad has one. It's printed in Bamberg. Very good. This is a Bible from my home that I brought to give to the abbot. Andreas, do you have a favorite story to illustrate from the Bible? Ooh. This is cool. Adam and Eve at the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Jacob wrestling with the angel, the Annunciation when Gabriel appears to Mary, Elijah and the chariots of fire, and Christ being taken down from the cross. Damn, which one do I want? I kind of want to pick the first one or the last one. Let's go for Adam and Eve at the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Yes, at the beginning of it all, the fall of man. It is good for us to be reminded of what we've lost in Eden. Now then, children, do you know the story of Jesus feeding the multitudes? Fish and loaves! My mum and dad make loaves. Ah, this is cool. We're getting an illustrated story, and the art style reflecting, Sabat's like culture and homeland where he comes from is amazing. And I love that he's drawn differently because of that too. It's a really nice detail. This is from our Bible, how we tell the story of how Jesus fed thousands from only a few fish and a few loaves of bread. Anna, you can't ask that. You can't just ask him, why is everyone brown? Because where I am from, everyone looks like me. Why? Because we are all as God has made us. I know Tassing seems big to you, but the world is much bigger than we can imagine. There are many people of many different colors all over the world. There are places where no one looks like you or me. Really? It's true. In Venice, I saw people come across the Mediterranean Sea. Not just like Brother Sabat, but people of different places and cultures even further away. Persians, Moors, Ottomans, each with their own way of speaking and dressing, their own customs. Brother Sabat, did you know the Baron who was murdered? Great job, Bert Holt. She's just like, I'm going to interrupt story time. Bert! It came up when I was visiting the Druckers. Oh, dude, that is a really great detail there too. Is our dinner with the Druckers influences this? I'm sorry, Marie. There's nothing to apologize for. We can't shield them from the world forever. I did not know him, Bert. But do you know the story of Lazarus? No. He was a friend of Jesus. He became sick, and he died. Die! Hat. But Jesus brought his followers to Lazarus's tomb. He prayed to God, and when they opened the tomb, Lazarus emerged, returned from the dead. Jesus can bring people back from the dead? He can, Bert. One day, Jesus will bring us all back from the dead. Everyone who has ever lived and died will come together and be resurrected on Judgment Day. I have had my hat stolen by a child. Say nothing. Why would I be so aggressive? Say nothing. You stole my hat. She did? That's adorable. Even the Romans? She's wearing the hat. Yes, the Romans too. What's Ursula doing in this book? Why did you ask about the Romans? I saw one come out of their tomb like Lazarus. What do you mean, Paul? Well, the ruins below the mill, they're Roman, and they all died a long time ago. But I saw one come out the other night. They were in white like Lazarus. Oh, some occult shit. It's going down by the mill, and a child saw it. Let's stop telling stories, Paul, and you shouldn't have been outside at night. Andreas, what does he mean? Yeah, what does he mean? Oh, like how I was walking back potentially that time from the Abbey, and I saw someone like a white-robed, potentially ghostly figure jumping over some Roman ruins. I think I may have seen something similar the other evening. What? Really? Where? The same place, by the Roman ruins. Maybe Paul did see a spirit of some kind. Oh, it's a very dire omen if that is what he saw. I will pray on this. Apologies for that, ladies, but thank you for sharing a meal with me today. I will be leaving for Rome soon, but I am glad to have spent some time with you and your children. Thank you, Brother Sabat. It was wonderful. Don't forget to stop by the bakery before you go. I'm sure my husband will want to see you before you go. I will. God grant you all health. That was a great way to do dinner, I think. That was awesome. I'm glad that I just walked right into... I'm glad that I walked right into that. Has my hat been stolen forever now? Did I get it back? But no, that was genuinely really, really cool. Because I was going to go find someone else to eat with, but Sabat being there and extending that invitation made for a much more unique way to eat food, I think. I liked that. Okay. Do I have my hat when I'm outside? My hat has genuinely been stolen now. That's funny. It's gone. Okay, so... the Archdeacon's investigation. So he wants to question me in the chapter house at Non's, which is right now. So that's where we need to go. And having a look in this area of Tassing, there's nothing to investigate. Nothing that kind of pops up as a straight up investigate option. But we may be able to get some more information out of some people before we speak to the Archdeacon. I'm just trying to think about where we're at right now. We haven't got anything out of Lucky. He was evasive about his relationship with the Baron. We have been tasked to follow him to see if we can learn anything more. However, because it's not an investigate option on the map, I don't think we're able to, with the Archdeacon wanting to investigate. Broken cane, have nothing on that. We've got potential murder weapon that we've dug up. And we know about Sister Matilda, but we're not going to say anything to the Archdeacon about her. She works in the convent garden during the day. And here's Matilda. God bless you, Master Mailer. May I ask some questions, Sister Matilda? Silda Matilda? You know, Mother Cecilia doesn't like us talking to men unless it's truly necessary. It's very interesting to pursue this, because it's delicate, because what we're doing here is we're not only... there's two subjects here is, hey, I want to talk to you about your PTSD, your traumatic experience that would be kind of not very easy to bring up and discuss with you. And, let's also talk about your secret relationship at the same time that would get you in a lot of trouble. They're both very delicate things to talk about. We will see what we can get, though. This concerns the murder of the Baron. Yes, it's tragic, but what does it have to do with me? I know about the attack, about why you went to a hermitage. I see. So you think I killed the Baron? I'm not sure. I don't actually think she did, but I'm not sure. Why don't you tell me how it happened? Baron Rothvogel had an appetite for young women. Neither his marital vows nor the vows of the women seemed to matter much to him. When I was on my way to town one day, he surprised me in the meadow and made his interests clear. Let her continue. I refused his advances. I thought that would be the end of it. This was not enough, because he did the same thing the next day. I refused him again. Why don't you tell Mother Cecilia, Father Matthias? To do what? Be lectured on how to behave? Accusing a man of misbehavior, especially a nobleman, is not so simple a thing. On the third day, he attacked me on my way through the meadow. He dragged me into the forest where he could have his way with me. I managed to badly scratch his neck. I saved my virtue, but it enraged him. He beat me until he was exhausted and left me there in the woods. It's a miracle you weren't killed. Yes, and I thank God for it. Mother Cecilia had me removed from Kiersau for my safety until I could recover. The wounds to my body have healed, but the attack has left a large, lasting injury in my mind. So, did you kill the Baron? No, I did not. If you don't believe me, do what you feel is necessary. It's hard to ignore your past with the Baron. I was angry. I was filled with hate, yes, but it's been years. Mother Cecilia and Father Thomas helped me move past the anger to find love in this community. Father Thomas? Yes, Father Thomas is our confessor. We can talk to Mother Cecilia about our problems, but only a priest can hear our confessions. Sister Matilda, did you receive a strange note recently? Yes. How did you know? Baron Rothvogel received one. What did it say? Here, look for yourself. Oh, we got another note. I probably should have checked in with her after all. There we go. Remember what he did. The violence you suffered. The red bird flies. Martin's chapter. Interesting. I believe the red bird is Rothvogel. Like the meaning of the word, I believe. I think so. There's something that I think that I've read or has been mentioned about the name of the red bird. I think it might be Rothvogel. But someone has slipped Matilda an anonymous note saying, remember what he did, the violence you suffered. So someone has said this note who's also aware of the attack that took place and is almost committing, is wanting to sort of seek revenge almost on her behalf. Rothvogel, the red bird. And what makes me laugh about that is whenever we read something that says red bird, my brain goes red herring, and then I go, is that too on the nose? Having someone's name literally be like red herring? I found it in my bed in the nun's dormitory. You can keep it if you like. In your bed? Who could have put it there? The only people allowed beyond the garden are the sisters. I can't imagine any of them making this. Mother Cecilia and Sister Illuminata have beautiful handwriting, but both of them have been so kind to me. Thank you for your time, sister. God bless you, Master Mela. That was illuminating. That was illuminating. And the interesting thing about this is I think we could potentially give this over to the Archdeacon, which does mention Matilda and does bring her into the mess, but that note is kind of some decent evidence that she didn't do it, and someone else has kind of slipped her a note to like let her know, give her almost like a warning of the event, you know? I don't know. She denies being responsible for the Baron's death, which I do believe. I do believe that. Mouse Fanger. Let's go. That was a good talk. I'm going to make a run through the town, and I'm going to see who we could potentially talk to before we speak to the Archdeacon. I wonder if we could get into the abbot's house and speak with Ferenc about digging up the grave and be like, I did it. I dug up the grave, you bastard, and I have these. Explain yourself, and probably, you know, don't get mad at me because Matthew's going to tell the abbot anyway, so I'm going to have to deal with that soon enough. Let's see if we can go into the abbot's house from here. And be careful not to enter the chapter house. Oh, Ulrich's here too. Guy, Adox here. Everyone's chilling. God bless you, Andreas. Yeah, there's the chapter house. Good day, Andreas. God bless you, Andreas. Master Mailer? Yes, it's me, sister. Do you think Brother Piero really murdered the Baron? No, of course not. Oh, then why did Father Abbot have him put in the cellar? Father Abbot is afraid of what will happen if we can't figure out who the killer really is. Do you think the devil could appear here at Kirsau? No, I think people see the devil where they want to see him. I didn't see the devil, but I think I smelled his odour. The night before the Baron was killed, I woke before Matins and I smelled something in our dormitory. I'ma go have a look. Oh no, but this is the sisters' dormitory. I don't think we can get in there, can we? Oh, it might have been the person that slipped the note in there. It was strange. Moss and salt. Oh, this is an interesting note to take down. Speak to the blind woman if you ever have a mystery, because they will mention smells. And then you can look for these same smells in people. Moss and sulfur mixed with frankincense and roses. It moved through the room. I wanted to scream, but I was too frightened, and then it was gone. I'm ashamed that I didn't cry out, but I didn't know what to do. Did any of the other sisters smell it? I don't know, but I think they were all asleep. Thank you, Sister Margaret. God bless you, Master Mailer. That is spicy information right there, dude. God bless you, Master Mailer. Everyone's fucking here. Hey, Andreas. Hello, Andreas. Yeah, the sisters' dorms are different. Sulfur, moss, frankincense. Who smells like that? I'm gonna go around sniffing. People. Oh, we got a note and something in the fireplace. There are deep indentations in this parchment. Whoever wrote on the page above must have been angry. Oh, dude. I wonder if I could make a charcoal rubbing of this page to reveal the content of the writing. That is so clever. Oh, that is so clever. Oh, is this the note that we... Oh, this is the letter that was written. We have this letter, right? It's the one declining the... Yeah. It's the one declining doing the thing. The occult ritual. So we've actually got the original copy of this letter. Aha! Clear as an alpine day. It's a letter to the Baron from Prior Ferenc. What is really cool about this, and something that I really like, is if you potentially miss something, you get a second chance. So if we missed this letter that we picked up in the guest house, we could find it here. And this would be our connective tissue. This would be our, ooh, we found this. Ah, this must be where Ferenc wrote the letter I found in the guest house. So if we didn't pick that up, we'd find it here. So second chances to get information is good. Lorenz was blackmailing Ferenc. It's the same text. Charcoal rubbing. Angrily wrote it. There was a piece of paper on Ferenc's desk that had the imprint of a letter on it. I rubbed charcoal on the paper to reveal the text, which is so clever. Let's check the fireplace. Someone was in a hurry to get rid of this parchment. Another one of these letters. Smells recent. Probably wasn't burned more than a day ago. Love the music that pops up when you look at these notes. Burned note. We can't read it? I found the burned remains of a note in Prior Ferenc's house. It's unclear what the contents of the note were, but it was written in a purple ink with exceptionally fine lettering. So we have 3 of these notes. One was given to Ferenc, one was given to Matilda, one was given to Rothvogel. Oh, hello. Log birch. Good day, Andreas. We're gonna go down this way, actually. I don't think there's ever been anything in the apple pens, at least so far. There's the abattoir, which we have not been to yet. Large garden. Anyone out here? To the Abbot house. To the lower Abbey, but that's always locked. Okay, so they're not in here, which makes sense. They would be working in church. Alright, don't go in there. Not to the chapter house. Anywhere but the chapter house at the moment. Where the brothers eat their meals, this is where the lector reads to them. Kitchen and cellar. Lucas. Hello, Mordislav. I'm sorry, Andreas, I can't let you down there. Father Gernot doesn't want anyone talking to Brother Piero before the Archdeacon arrives. Oh, that's the cellar, right. What am I going to do? Elope with him? I know. Just a few minutes? I really shouldn't. Oh, shit. Angrily denied Piero was angry at Lorenz. Oh, man. I need to talk to him. Failure. We had a chance to persuade him to talk to Piero. I didn't even know that. I'm sorry, I can't. Not even if it meant the abbot might learn your secret. What are you talking about? Matilda? Let me in, bitch. That's a hell of a thing to threaten a man with, Andreas Mailer. You're right, but Piero's life is at stake. Fine, it's still a hell of a thing to threaten a man with. 2 minutes. Yes. Failed persuasion check? Threaten a man. Get in the cellar. I get what I want. Life lesson. Threaten someone if you want to get your own way. I get to have a chat with Piero, which is very important. I'm trying to stand in a way that doesn't look silly. Hold on. Here we go. Fuck it. Click on him. Piero. Andreas, you shouldn't be down here. I know. I wanted to ask about what happened. Oh, I want both. I do need to make sure you're alright, but I got a job to do. I got to spare your life. I want to ask you about what happened. What happened? Why, I don't know. I wanted to speak with Father Abbot about the Baron's commission, to tell him that I had full faith in your abilities. I went through the chapter house instead of exiting directly to the garden so I could avoid some of the rain. Perhaps it would have been better to have endured. What happened in the chapter house? I saw the Baron's body in the middle of the room. When I went to his side, I tried to rouse him. It sounds foolish, but it was then that I noticed the blood. I picked up the knife. It was near the Baron's hand. And then I heard Brother Matthew's voice asking me what happened. You and the others found me after that. Did you see anything or anyone in the chapter house? Anything that could suggest the real murderer? No, nothing that I remember. I'm sorry, Andreas. I wish I could be of more help to you, to the abbot. The abbot? He's the one who put you in here. He is still my abbot. I must respect his wishes. Now please respect mine and leave me before you and Brother Władysław draw the abbot's ire. Take care, Brother Piero. God be with you. Alright, we got in. And we at least learned that it's like the knife was by the Baron's hand, which we already kind of were aware of by doing the investigation that the knife was not pulled on him, but potentially pulled on himself. So we at least are aware of that. That's good information still. It's good information for us to have. Let's check out the courtyard and lavatorium. I'm very, very glad that we have tried to go around here and still speak to people. There's been a lot of useful information. God give you health. We're now going to check the village as well. That smell, though, is such an interesting one. Let's go to the Monastery Laquarium. Margaret helping us out, though. Sure. Rudiger. God bless you, Andreas. God bless you, Andreas. We've yet to find a use for being up in the tower. For all I know, there's probably like a particular moment where there's like someone there or something, because they got to ring the bells when shit happens. We've just missed it every single time. I think there was one more location, the infirmary. I'm going to go into the infirmary. God bless you, Andreas. I am mortar and pestilling. Alright, we leave. We're going to the village. Going to Tassing. See what information we can find. See if Martin's around. Which he probably is not. And then we'll head to the chapter house, and it'll be questioning time, which is going to be stressful. I wonder if there's going to be anyone at the mill that we could actually speak to properly. Old Otto is fishing. Good to see you, Andreas. Part of me is curious that if we were able to follow Lucky and we missed Nons, I wonder what would happen, you know? Like, there's part of me that wonders if we're forced to have the interaction with the Archdeacon at Nons, or whether we could skip it and see what happens. It would be an interesting way to change up the sort of timeline or sequence of events. Smokey, what do you smell like? Did you need something, Master Mailer? No, but thank you. Vakslav. Hey, Master Mailer. Okay. Not sure what to make of this area, and I can't. There's part of me that wishes that I would have shared a meal with them, and I think that's what we might do for dinner. That's what we might do for our supper plans. I'll eat with Smokey because I'm curious about him. God be with you, Andreas. Nice. Elsie, good afternoon. Forgive me, I've forgotten your name. Andreas Mailer, master artist. Oh, a master at such a young age. It's impressive. Well, I admit, I'm not quite a master yet, still finishing my masterpiece. What is that like? Fulfilling a dream. I wish I could dream. You can. You have the right, just like everyone. To do what? I have my family to care for. Lenhart, Paul, my sweet angel. The mill. Oh, I apologize. We didn't even get properly introduced. You must be Elsie Mullerin. Ah, yes, that's me. I heard Clara and Eva had an artist boarding with them. That must be very exciting. They've treated me very well. Perhaps Eva more than Clara, Oh, I only meant living on a farm among the townspeople. Isn't it very lively? Only when ill Peter wakes in the night and can't find the chamber pot. So far, it seems a life like most others. I almost could have spoken about the miller's toll and been like, yeah, they're kind of pissed. Oh, but have you not travelled much? Artists go on a wanderjahr, yes? There must be many differences in the way people live. The people in Florence were very cultured, for certain it has such history. My, so much out there. But I have to take care of my darling Paul, he's so shy. I pray the Lord may someday bless us with a daughter. Elsie! Have you finished with your gabble? There's work that needs doing. Oh no. I'm sorry, I have to get to my labours. Of course, I apologise if I've bothered you. Until later, Mistress Mullerin. Until then. Hello, Master Miller. Staub? And then Paul. Hello again. Hi, Paul. It's good to see you at home. Uh-huh. Where's your home? You're not from Tassing? I'd remember. I live in Nuremberg, but I'm staying with the Gertners for a while. Oh, but you're not a farmer. Why are you living with the farmers? They're letting me board with them while I work in the Abbey scriptorium. You're a monk? I'm an artist. Oh, like you do drawings? Drawing, painting, calligraphy. If it goes in a book, I can put it there. Oh, is that... How'd you get money? I help the abbot with the scriptorium's commissions. Art is a job, just like being a miller is a job, but it's also a calling. My dad says drawing's stupid. It's not worth anything. Your dad's wrong. Not where he can hear. Do you like to draw, Paul? Yes. More than anything, but I have to do it where Dad can't see. He gets mad. I'm sorry to hear that. But if it means a lot to you, maybe he doesn't need to know. Can I tell you a secret? Sure. Sometimes I draw on the ruins in the meadow where Dad can't see. Oh, that's nice. He's the one who's drawing on those. Oh, that's great. The Romans would have been honored. They loved defacing monuments. I don't know what that means. Don't worry about it. What do you draw? Cats, mum, I don't know, stuff. I probably shouldn't be talking to you. Dad won't like it. You're probably right. I'll go. Until later, Paul, and hey, keep drawing, alright? I will. Bye. Oh, that's wholesome. That's so wholesome, actually. What the hell? Lenhart, you bastard. Let's have a chat. Afternoon. You're the Gertner's boarder, aren't you? How could you tell? You look like a man who understands the power of appearances. Quite unlike the Gertners. They're farmers. You expect them to act like kings? A little dignity wouldn't hurt them. They bleat like sheep when times get hard. Only Eva's got a backbone. How is she, by the way? She's fine. Why? I'm only curious. She used to bring their barley to me, but Peter insists on delivering it now. A shame. She'd shown some curiosity about the mill. I'd hoped to foster that. Is there something special about it? She's the only windmill in Bavaria, did you know? Constructed in exacting detail from Dutch specifications. The gem of the Alps, and none of the incurious dolts here can appreciate it. Yes, I'm sure it's the peasants who are the problem. I should be going. Until then, Mela. It's cute that these are Paul's drawings. These must be Paul's drawings. That's lovely. I like that. Alright, back to the village. Yeah, this is great. Because sometimes you might get a little distracted in this game and or a little like hyper focused, and you go, oh shit, it's this time, I have to go here, and you can miss out on all of these amazing interactions that you can have with people around the place. Like Klaus saying, hello, Andreas. Can't miss that. Central Town. Yeah, Lucky is here. So is Schlau. Hello, Andreas. Yeah, can't talk to him. Can't talk to him, which means no option to follow him. Which makes sense. Andreas? Ulrich doesn't have his window open because he's in the church, but Gretch should be here. With Anna. Hey, Anna, where's my hat? Hello, Andreas. Hi. Where's my hat? You have stolen it. Thief! Werner's here. Hello, Mela. Again, a locked house that we can't go into at any time. Keeping that lock tight. Wonder if there's any secrets in there. I think we might be pretty good to head to the chapter house. Andreas? Hey, Andreas. Hello, Andreas. Hello, Andreas. It's lovely. It's always the same in here. Nothing changes at the Gertners. God bless you. Hey there, Andreas. Hello. Good day, Andreas. Andreas. Hello. Here they all be, greeting me with nothing to say. So Martin's potentially just ran out. Martin's potentially just gonna chill in another town forever. You want something? No new hints in here. Can't go upstairs. Just have to figure out this staff thing another time. Because we've already looked at this before. Wood carvings are quite curious. Alrighty. In that case, we are going to the chapter house. Because I think we've spoken to everyone, done everything at this point. Very rewarding for a lot of those things. And now I must nervously approach the... Archdeacon and say, hello, this is what I have, sir. Hopefully it is enough. Who do I think did it? I think it should be the most important thing I should ask myself right now. Don't you think? Out of all of our suspects, I don't know. Like, could have been lucky. But we don't know because we lack information on there. However, Prior Ferric, there's blood on this little, like a blunt object that could bonk him on the head. It could have been Prior Ferric with this disagreement that was written about the occult blackmail thing. You know? I don't think Matilda did it. Martin, maybe, but I reckon he's just a thief. It could be someone completely unexpected, you know? Could be someone that we're not even suspicious of. But I need to figure out how people smell, according to Margaret. Let's head into the chapter house. Gernot's standing, like, right where the blood was. Like, I'm pretty sure it was, like, right here. So they've cleaned up the wall. So if you miss that detail of the blood on the wall when you first enter there, you're not going to see it now. Andreas? Father Gernot? Master Mailer, if you think I am unaware of your actions around the Abbey in the past few days, you are mistaken. Oh? You exhumed the corpse of one of the brothers of this Abbey. I should have expected that cur Otto Zimmerman would help you with such a ghoulish task. He'll pay for his role in this obscenity in due time. Now then, for all your meddling, you will not be welcome in Kirsal after your commission is completed. Oh, man. Fuck. So, this is it. After my commission is completed, that's it. I'm not coming back to this pile of cow shit if I can help it. I apologize. I was only trying to help Brother Piero. It's too late for apologies. It's too late to apologize. Your days of interfering in the daily life of this abbey will end. It was never my intent to interfere, Father Abbot. I'll leave you to the Archdeacon now. Try not to perjure yourself. God save you, Andreas Mailer. Lovely. Look at this gathering. Jacob, please state your name for our records. Andreas, son of Josef Mahler, master artist from Nuremberg. This will be remembered. What is an artist doing in Kirsau Abbey? The Abbey still has some commissions from wealthy patrons, and I need the money before I return to Nuremberg. Arnold, please write that down. I think we're ready to begin. Of course, your reverence. Now then, Master Mahler, what was your relation to Lorenz, the Baron Rothvogel? I only knew him for a day, but we were on friendly terms. Do you feel you had a sense of him as a person? Yes, your reverence. How would you characterize him? I mean, all of them, in some way, shape, or form, do kind of fit. Like, he is a lover of art and knowledge. He is confident, overbearing, and used to getting what he wants. And he is a nobleman for all the good and ill that goes along with that title. Yes, they all kind of apply. A nobleman for all the good and ill that goes along with that title. This will be remembered. Do you have a problem with the nobility, Master Mahler? Is this germane to the investigation, your reverence? I determine what is germane, and have you already forgotten who asks the questions here? My apologies, your reverence. Do you know of anyone who had a reason to harm the Baron? I can think of a few people, your reverence. Good, that might help us solve this problem that faces us. The Baron Rothvogel was murdered here, in this very room. Someone did it. Father Gernot believes it was one of his monks, Brother Piero. I have met with Brother Piero and questioned him at length. While it seems unlikely that a man of his age and temperament could murder the Baron, he was discovered in a flagrant delicto, caught red-handed. He wasn't, though. The Baron was already dead. This will be remembered. Stop talking. If you wish to advocate on behalf of Brother Piero, I suggest shutting your mouth until I ask you a question. Piero had reasons to resent the Baron, the loss of his work, the insistence on discussing the writings of the troublemaker from Wittenberg. And as for his age and infirmity, I myself have read that many cases in which a man of modest strength succumbs to the temptations of the devil. Once seized by a devilish fever, the poor sinner gains an infernal power that allows him to inflict grievous wounds, sometimes fatal. What I'm saying is that in spite of the curious circumstances, Brother Piero is the most plausible perpetrator of this most vile act. I understand that you are on friendly terms with Brother Piero. You also interacted with the Baron both in the town and the Abbey. Did you witness anything that suggests someone else could have murdered Baron Rothvogel? Okay, we could go through all four of these. Let's have a look. I'm going to go with, out of these four, I'm going to go with my primary suspect, which is Ferenc. Lucky's my second one. Martin's my third. Matilda's my fourth. The Abbey's prior, Ferenc, was behaving suspiciously on the day of the Baron's arrival. He may have had a motive. That is an extraordinary claim, Andreas. The abbot speaks highly of the prior, and he oversees both you and Brother Piero's work, does he not? Yes, but Prior Ferenc's role in the scriptorium has little bearing on his motive. An extraordinary claim requires extraordinary evidence for me to take it seriously. Why should I take the word of an artist over a respected officer of this abbey? I can provide evidence of Prior Ferenc's motive. Please do so. Baron Rothvogel and Prior Ferenc were exchanging letters about performing a magical ritual during the Baron's visit. You have proof of this? I have the letter, yeah, I've got the letter and the imprint. Baby, I have a letter the Prior wrote to the Baron. In it, the Prior mentions that he will not perform a ritual for the Baron, even if the Baron does not follow through on the threat to implicate him to Inquisitors in Innsbruck. An implication of necromancy is a serious matter. The Prior's position would have been in peril, possibly even his life. And how do you believe Prior Ferenc would have killed the Baron? I pray you will not say it was a magical ritual. I found a silver rod that belongs to Prior Ferenc. It has dried blood on it. A silver rod? Likely a magical tool of some sort, but it is of a size and weight appropriate for the head wound that the Baron received. How did you come to possess this item? In truth, it involved a little grave digging. Master Mailer, while it is not my place nor my task to hold you liable for what you've done, I will be informing Father Gernot. He already knows, it's fine. Is there anything else to say about the Prior? No, Your Reverence. Very well. Who else may have wanted to see the Baron dead? So we can choose. We don't have enough proof on Lucky, right? All we've got is that he argued with the Baron. That's an argument. Everyone has arguments. Martin's stolen from him. I don't know about Matilda. Interestingly enough, the note business, like the burned note in Ferenc's little space, we can't bring up when attached to Ferenc, but I guess the note will be able to bring it up with this. But this one says one of the nuns, Sister Matilda, may have wished revenge on the Baron. I don't think so, so I'm not going to pick it. I'm going to say a local thief, Martin Bauer. Oh, wait, did I say Lucky was my second? I think I said Lucky was my second one. Problem is, however, we don't have evidence. We haven't followed him anywhere, or we just pissed him off. I have nothing to say. I'll be like, yeah, he had an argument, then I asked him about it and told me to piss off. You know, I know how that's going to go. So I was like wasting his time. But we have a bit more on Martin. A local thief, Martin Bauer. Yes, his name has come up in my inquiries. My understanding is that he absconded with some of the Baron's valuables. Arnold? Yes, Your Reverence. A silver ring, a gold ring, 12 gulden, 10 groschen, and a book intended as a gift for the Abbey. Thank you. It is my understanding that this boy was known as a thief, but also as a coward, and that the theft was from the Abbey's guest house after the Baron had already left it. Even so, it's still possible that he could have committed the murder, Your Reverence. Yes, it's possible, but very unlikely in my judgment. I am not treating him as a serious suspect for the Baron's murder at this time. Who else may have wanted to see the Baron dead? Fuck it, we're going to throw Lucky's name in the ring too. Lucky Steinauer argued with the Baron, and if he fucking talked to me and was a bit more open with me about what happened, then maybe I wouldn't be throwing his name in the ring if he cleared things up a little bit. Who is Lucky Steinauer? I don't believe his name has come up during our questioning. The town stonemason. Alright, what's the connection between the town stonemason and a nobleman from Worms? I and at least 3 farmers in the village saw Lucky arguing with the Baron when he came to town. About what? I don't know, but the argument was heated. Hetty and Veronica Baron witnessed it. You mentioned a third witness. Yes, Martin Bauer, unfortunately. Ah, yes. As discussed, the boy fled. Still, we will question the women about what they saw. And how do you propose that this stonemason killed the Baron? As a stonemason, Lucky would have access to any number of tools that he could use to bludgeon the Baron. Have you found such a tool? No, but that does not mean it does not exist, and as they are Lucky's tools, only he would know if one went missing. A fair point, Master Mailer, but the fact remains it is yet to be found. True. In any case, that is the extent of my knowledge about Lucky Steinauer, Your Reverence. Is there anyone else you can think of who may have wanted to harm the Baron? We're going to not mention Matilda. I'm going to not mention it. I can think of no one else who could have caused harm to the Baron, Your Reverence. Very well. Are you aware of anything else that might shed some light on this case? Oh, yes, the notes. Let's go. Has Brother Florian told you about the note he found in the Baron's clothing? Yes, Brother Florian explained how he came to find it and told me its contents. Master Archdeacon has entered his testimony in our register. I don't understand the implications. Who is the innocent? It's not clear to me either, Your Reverence. Do you believe the murderer wrote it? Whoever wrote it was a talented scribe. I understand Kirsau has two, the elderly brother Adok and the younger brother Guy. What if Brother Guy and Prior Ferenc are in cahoots? Or it's Brother Guy. And that Brother Guy, that damned dude Brother Guy man, could be the guy. Could be the guy. He's the guy. To be frank, Your Reverence, neither man has the skill to write in this way. There's something else about it too. The style is just different. It's unlike Adok and Guy's writing, unlike mine. Very well. Oh, sorry, I just made that word up. Yes, well, whatever the particulars, it seems it will remain a mystery that stands apart from the commission of the murder. Unfortunately, there is more to tell. I found more notes. Notes written in the same hand on the same type of parchment to those who had a motive to kill the Baron. That is deeply troubling, but again, beyond the bounds of my investigation. Damn it. In any case, I thank you for bringing it to my attention. Of course, Your Reverence. Thank you again for your time, Master Mela. Oh. Fuck that up. Shouldn't have interrupted. Shouldn't have questioned. Shouldn't have implied I don't like nobles. I fucked that up, didn't I? I did give my name politely. Fuck, we could have done so much better there, hey? All of this would be remembered really rubbed them the wrong way, didn't it? Yeah, not only did we imply we didn't like nobles, we drove that point home even further. And then interrupted that Piero wasn't called. God damn. It's obviously going to fail, so we're not even going to try. Of course, Your Reverence. Oh, Act 2. Final day of Law and Judgment. I forgot there was an Act 1. Andreas, I didn't think you were coming to this. Oh, shit. Okay. We've entered a new chapter. With him being like, you know, do you want to know who I think did it? I didn't think I was either. I suppose I wanted to see how this ends after all. It was the prior of the Abbey, if you can believe it. Did you ever talk with him in the Abbey, Andreas? Prior Ferenc with the silver rod. Or was it, though? That's the real part of this, is like, or was it? Maybe. You missed the trial, Andreas. That Archdeacon read all of the charges and found him guilty. I don't think Ferenc did it. The Archdeacon got it wrong. Well, the problem is, I think it could possibly have been it. But here's the thing. It might have been none of the suspects. Like, it genuinely might have been none of those people. And someone else entirely. And that's what I feel is going to be the reason why this game is continuing into, like, a second act and potentially beyond, right? Like, it's still... There's still more to figure out here. He wasn't obsessed with dark magic. I worked with him almost every day, Clara. I didn't know he had murder in him. Oh, they wanted you to think they're so pious, but they're all they're here to do is slowly drain the life out of this town. Calm down, Peter. Oh, here comes the procession. Did I miss anything? No, you're fine. Andreas? Otto? Oh, wow. Agnus Dei quitol... I can't see it. I didn't do this! God knows it! Even Agnus Dei quitolis peccatum mundi miserere... This can't be happening! This can't be happening! Agnus Dei quitolis peccatum mundi... I can't read this fucking fast. The text is going too fast. He got punched in the face. Far out, dude. Running like a chicken, crying like a woman. Pathetic! Silence! Silence! I order the executioner to carry out his duty. I warrant him peace and safe conduct, whatever may befall him. God, even the kids are here. Like, what the fuck? So Smokey's here as well. I'm trying to see who's in attendance here. Is everyone in attendance here? Lucky's not here, is he? Lucky isn't here. No one else at the church is here besides Matthew. So obviously none of the sisters are here. Martin's not going to be here because he's still fucked off. How interesting. But yeah, you'd think Lucky would be here. Is because Gret's here. Oh no, Gret's with Ulrich. Who's... I think it's what, Agnes? I don't think Agnes is here either. We're gonna watch. If the children are watching, so am I. My God! My God! Hold still, Rickard. No! 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 That was not a clean fucking decapitation at all! My Lord Judge, have I executed well? You've executed as judgment and law have required. For that I thank God and my master who has taught me such art. Holy shit, dude. I know this was your doing, Andreas. I don't know how this is going to go now, dude. You know, it was only a matter of time before Ferenc was caught for his interests. Yes, but that was for me to deal with. There's no future for the scriptorium now without him. Is that really what you're concerned about? He killed a man. You are no longer welcome at Kirsau, Andreas Mailer. I will send your final payment to the Gertners. May you have a long and successful career in Nuremberg, and may you never travel this way again. Yeah, by going the route... Oh, okay, Act 3, separation. Never mind, okay. That went really quickly. I was like, oh, the second chapter, let's go. Oh, the third chapter, let's go. We spent hours in chapter 1, only to just be over and done with chapter 2 in mere seconds. Act 3, separation. Andreas, has the time come for you to leave us? Well, apparently so. We didn't do a good job with having the favor of the Abbey, but, I mean, they weren't exactly the nicest of the bunch to us the whole time, were they? I'm afraid so, Brother Piero. This farewell will have to be brief, for the Gernot made it clear I was no longer welcome at Kirsau. I pray that time will soften Father Abbott's heart. I hope he eventually realizes you were only trying to help me. This is a sad parting, but inevitable. I had hoped you would stay a bit longer. But the world needs you more than Kirsau does. You have grown beyond this old abbey and become a master in your own right. I will miss you, my son. As I will you. Come, your masterpiece is complete. May I see it one last time before you go? Please, I value your assessment. The opinion of one old monk matters little. All the same, I am excited to see it finished at last. Oh, that's beautiful. It's the Gertners that have been painted in there. Look how cool that looks. That's amazing. It is a masterpiece, truly worthy of the word. And it appears you took my advice to heart. Huh. That's me. That's Andreas. He's put himself in there. What advice was that? To put yourself into the work. Oh, yeah, nice. Not just to interpret another artist's work, but to transform it into something true. This shows the world as it is, as you have seen it, even if it is not what we may want to see. Though it is not my place to say so, I am proud of you, Andreas. Oh. Oh. Oh, shit. What's this? That's one of those fucking notes. Did that fall out of his sleeve? What's this? A scrap of parchment? Ooh. Do not return here. A warning? So the real murderer, the true murderer that potentially wrote these notes and sent them out, gives us a note. Whose hand is this? It doesn't look like Brother Adok's or Brother Guy's. Brother Florian and I found a similar note in the Baron's clothing. And I found more notes delivered to others while I was investigating. They must have been written by someone who knew the darkest secrets of the town and this abbey. They tugged at those secrets to kill the Baron, like someone pulling at threads that had been buried in the past. A frightening thought, but who would do such a thing? I wish I knew. Do not trouble yourself overly about it. Your future lies outside of these walls. I hope that you will have time to visit me once or twice in your travels before the Lord takes me. I'll come as often as I can. Assuming Father Gernot doesn't forbid it. We must have faith that better days lie ahead for all of us. God bless you, Andreas Mailer. Thank you for your friendship. Till next time. Whoa! That's me, with a son? What? Time skip? Fucking time jump? For some reason I was like, oh, it just fast forwarded it through 2 chapters and now it's going to end or something. I just thought we were about to be like, oh, all right, see you later. Or I think it was just going to like wrap up and then maybe be like a couple more scenes. But for some reason I was just like, oh, maybe I got the band ending. I was like, genuinely for a second there, I was like, oh, maybe I just got the bad ending of the game and it's just kicking me out early because I fucked up. Unexpected huge time jump. I have a child. Are you all right, Master Andreas? Well, I mean, it might not be a child because I don't think my son would be calling me Master Andreas, or would they? I don't know. I don't know how sons call their fathers when they speak to them in this day and age. Look at me. I got a brand new fancy hat now. It doesn't matter that my previous one was stolen. What? Are you all right, Master Andreas? Yes, thank you. I was just remembering him. Piero. Trying to, anyway. It doesn't come easily anymore. Oh, would you like me to leave you alone? No, Caspar. It's not necessary. There's nothing to be done about it now. It's too late. Like so many things. Another storm coming through, and Guy has grown up. Look at him, he's balding now. Andreas Mailer. I never expected to see your face here again. Have you been in Nuremberg for these last 7 years? So I got married to that woman back in Nuremberg and potentially had a child, ? Or I just have a boy following me around. I don't know. No, Nuremberg for a few years, but I received some lucrative commissions abroad. More background choices. It's like a second game. Let's go. Pick a background that will affect your character's choices going forward. What have I done? Andreas knows some Polish, bits of Czech and Hungarian, and can reference cultural touchstones from Krakow, Prague, and Buda. England. Andreas knows some English and can reference cultural touchstones from London and other parts of Britain. France. We know French and can reference cultural touchstones from Paris, Tours, and Dijon. And Aragon, for Son of Arathon. Andreas knows some Spanish and bits of Arabic and can reference cultural touchstones from Barcelona and Valencia. I think we're going to go with France. I'm pretty sure there was something in this game at one point that I remember specifically Andreas going, man, I wish I knew French, or I should have studied French or something. There's a specific line that he says, I think. I'm going to pick France purely based off that option. Give me France. Spent a few years in France and Burgundy painting portraits and religious paintings for nobles and courtiers. Did you visit Provence? Only briefly, for a commission. Why? When King Louis expelled the Jews from the region some years ago, a number chose to convert and remain. So the king taxed them into misery. I wondered if the tax yet persisted. I have no idea. I'm surprised you care at all. Well, I'm not about to leap into a fire to save anyone, but I don't think it's right what's happened to them. In spite of your extensive travels and success, you're still not welcome at Curacao. The abbot hasn't forgotten what happened. 7 years isn't all that long. I simply wanted to pay my respects to an old friend. Surely you understand that. I understand why Father Abbot expelled you from the Abbey. What were you expecting, a hero's welcome? The Landhaus. An inn or tavern usually owned and operated by a single family that serves travellers in rural areas. Fine. I'll tell Father Gernot I'll be staying at the Landhaus in town for a night or two before moving on. The Golden Hand, I'll tell him, but I can't imagine he'll care. Why is he so rude? God bless you. Now, be off. Revolution 1525. Chapter 4. Hey guys, remember when Chapter 2 and 3 happened? I do. Jesus. That monk seems unhappy to see you, Master Andreas. Why is the abbot so angry with you? Toward the end of my stay in Tassing, there was a murder at Curacao Abbey. A nobleman. Father Gernot panicked and accused my friend, Brother Piero, of committing the crime. I helped convince the investigating Archdeacon that another monk was responsible, Prior Ferenc. He was executed for the crime. Damn, I wonder, genuinely, if we just, when they go, oh, do you know anyone who's involved? And we just say, no one. I wonder what happens. Or if we, leave out certain... This is the best part about this, and why there's a part of me that does genuinely wish that there was at least the ability to make manual saves, is because if I want to get to this point in the game again, I got to go through all of that again. You know what I mean? And while it is great to go through a game like this, and I love it so much, replayability is a very crucial factor in a choice-based RPG where there's a lot of dialogue, where there's a lot of choices, and there's a lot of exposition, and then there's a lot of work that needs to be done to get to particular moments where all those choices pay off. Sometimes having the ability to save at some of those critical moments just out of curiosity to see how differently it can play out is good. So it is an unfortunate thing that we can't have, manual saves for that reason alone. Because I'm always curious, because I really do wonder how that could have played out differently, and I'll have to play through it all to get there, you know what I mean? We'll see then. But we'll stick with our choices that we've made that have brought us to this point. We got Prior Ferenc executed while he was suspicious for some things, and there was certainly a murder weapon. Was he the one who buried it? Could it have been planted there? Who knows? Mighty suspicious work. Here's the thing. The blood, dried blood, could have been done from Prior Ferenc practicing some sort of occult ritual. Could have been his own blood used to try and do something and not even used as a murder weapon. But again, who knows? Or he could have been the murderer after all. We've still got more game, I believe. I do find it quite funny that we've been in chapter 1 for so long, and then we've just gone 2, 3, 4, and it's just playing out in like these very brief, short chapters. It's kind of funny how it does that. You got someone killed. No, I collected evidence and presented it truthfully. The Archdeacon is the one who made the ruling. Well, you couldn't let your friend die. Why didn't you mention it before? Well, I suppose it must have been a hard situation. About if the abbot is still this mad with you. I had to make some difficult choices. Maybe they were the wrong ones. I've had to live with that. Why did we come here if you're not welcome? I wanted to pay my respects to Brother Piero. And to be honest, I'm not looking forward to returning to Nuremberg. This commission, it's an obscene vanity piece under the pretext of a religious scene. My patrons just want to celebrate themselves and their wealth. I dread each new commission more than the last. Every step I take toward home is agonizing. But, Master, you're famous and rich. Your work is wonderful. When I saw your altarpiece in Nuremberg, I begged my father to help me become your apprentice. Okay, there we go. I do not have a son. I have an apprentice. I have a boy that follows me around. There we go. Did I ever get married to that woman? Or I guess not. I decided to be an artist. A sad artist. All alone with all of this money. Oh, the humanity. I don't understand how you could accomplish all that. You have and be unhappy. Money is the key to happiness after all. Certainly not women and a family and love and care and warmth. Someone to hold at night. Damn, now this is just getting depressing, dude. This is depression. I know, it must be hard to believe. I was once very much like you. I'm not gonna get all depressing here. Once I wanted this life so much that it consumed my every waking thought. I don't know if I've changed or if what I wanted was never really real. Maybe I've been a fool this whole time. Oh. I want life as an artist to be better for you, Caspar. Learn from my mistakes, alright? This will be remembered. Alright, yes, Master Andreas. I shouldn't be burdening you with such dark thoughts, Caspar. Come, let's visit my old friend Klaus. It's been too long. As you like, Master Andreas. Nice, alright, paying respects, visit Klaus. There is more game. I was actually genuinely like, I wonder if it's just going to keep going through chapters now and it's some sort of weird resolution to everything. Oh wow, yeah, it's taken us into a completely new area. There's no more people to keep in here anymore. You don't need to. We've still got the maps of the Abbey, Outer Tassing and Tassing. Some of this looks kind of, does it not look a little bit different? Maybe? I guess, is everyone still living in exactly the same place? Or is there anything different, I wonder? Oh my god, all the kids will be grown up. Ursula will be speaking words. I'm so invested in the characters in this game. They've done a really great job at establishing people. There's the Golden Hand Inn. Cool. They've done a really great job at establishing the characters all over this game. And establishing all of the dynamics between them and how they all operate. It's beautifully done. I'm very attached and invested in a lot of the characters in this game. And also, like, how my choices have affected this place as well. You know what I mean? I can't wait to see how this is going to continue because there's still more. 7 years later, we are now in chapter 4. Chapters 2 and 3 were but a breeze in the wind, an execution, a time skip, and now we're in an inn before we proceed to check in with an old friend. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Pentiment, where it all came to a head, but there is still more of the game ahead of us. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.